Can't see right now.
Oh, crap. Hold on. We're already live.
Well, with that, folks, good evening, WNBA women's basketball fans. We were still working out some minor problems there, but we'll get rolling nonetheless, folks. Quick half-an-hour program with one game tonight, good evening, folks. And welcome into the WNBA 365 Network, your 24/7, 365 comprehensive home for everything revolving around the WNBA and the rest of the women's basketball universe. Joining you folks here for that minor kind of awkward start, but we'll get through the night though, folks. Joined alongside the two-man contingent tonight of Crystal Thomas and Shorty A. Smith, a.k.a. Tanisha Stewart, both up in Los Angeles, California, and, of course, Cal McClurg. Joining you folks here tonight from Studio 171 in San Diego, Shorty and Crystal. Good to see you guys tonight. One game on the schedule, some news to get to. Other than that, guys, how is it going tonight? Good to see you.
What's up? I just finished playing the game. Hi.
I hope Crystal didn't get beat up, but hey, everyone.
With that, folks, like normal, of course, Facebook, Twitter, live chat box wide open for you folks. So go ahead and hit us up over on Facebook at facebook.com/WNBA365, or feel free to hit us up over on Twitter at WNBA365, at CallumMac3, at ShortyMamba24, or at Pup1010 with the hashtag WNBA365. Or if you are viewing us tonight, folks, hit up the live chat box. We'll get to your questions, comments, or concerns when we have a break in the action. Also, folks, to let you know as well, we are running another Twitter poll question again, more so wanting your input, though, on future guests for the program. Tonight's program is we already had LaChina Robinson in our last poll question. So now tonight, along with LaChina, who else would you want to see on our program? You have three choices tonight of either Rosgold on Wude, Christy Winter-Scott, or Olympia Scott as your three choices. Vote on Twitter, and results will be read at the end of our program this evening. So again, alongside LaChina, who else would you guys want to see on our network panel again? So this is our way of getting your input, folks, on what you guys want to see for the future. So again, you have either Rosgold on Wude, Christy Winter-Scott, or Olympia Scott as your three choices for tonight's poll question. We've got 5 votes so far, and again, results of that poll at the end of our program this evening. All right, Shorty and KT, only one game tonight on the WNBA schedule. Wings and Storm hooking up this evening in the Emerald City. Seattle wins again post-break over Dallas, 78-66, a final score. Final box for the Dallas Wings this evening. Peanut Pearson, 19 points. Skylar Diggins with 10. Odyssey Sims and Ariel Powers, 9 points each. Gloria Johnson with 7. Teresa Plaisance with 5. Prima Christmas with 3. Courtney Paris and Aaron Phillips with 2 each. Tiffany Bias and Jordan Hooper, no points. Ruth Hamblin, DNP, coach's decision. For the Seattle Storm, the young shot, Jewel Lloyd, 23 points. Brianna Stewart, 17 points. Sue Bird with 13. Crystal Langhorne with 12. Alicia Clark with 9. Kalena Mosqueda-Lewis and Ramu Tokashiki, 2 points each. Noelle Quinn, Crystal Thomas, Jen O'Hay, no points in some scattered minutes played. Abby Bishop and Monica Wright, both DNPs, also coach decision. The game played from the Key Arena in Seattle, Washington. Total attendance this evening, 6,771. Time of the game, 1 hour and 57 minutes. The officials tonight were Maj Forsberg, Michael Price, and Aaron Smith. 2 text charged to Dallas, 2 lead changes, and 4 times the game was tied. And Shorty, the big story, though, and I believe that a lot of our friends and followers are right, though, that the Dallas Wings have got to be by far at this point. That they have become, I think, they are now officially the biggest WNBA disappointment right now in my mind at this point. I think of how they had so much hype and publicity coming into this first season, and Dallas, they were going to, be lighting the city on fire. But so far, Shorty, they've had a rough go so far. Still playing a bit like them old Tulsa days so far. Shorty, what in your mind has gone wrong for Dallas so far this season? We can probably talk about Sky Diggs' injury. We can talk about, the young kids still developing, but I guess, Shorty, I think, though, that there's problems, though, run deeper on this team in regards to, there's more problems than just what you see so far in the final boxes. But I guess, Shorty, thoughts on Dallas, first of all, before we get to Seattle from tonight's game. What do you think and why?
Dallas, they are pretty much all over the place. I mean, coming into the season for the Wings, we all did have hope that they would at least, make the playoffs and possibly one of the single elimination rounds. But we all thought that they would at least make the playoffs to build on their playoff run from last year. But coming into this year, they have been less than stellar, and of course, there are multiple factors. There's, the uh, you know, thing with Skylar Diggins, her coming back, recovering from the ACL. And then, there's Glory Johnson and the whole suspension. You have to bring that up, the 7-game suspension, and her, getting back from pregnancy and things like that. And of course, just before the break, she also had a big injury where she injured her big toe and was out for a few games. And she is just now, trying to get herself back into game form, even though, you can tell even in tonight's game that she's not fully there yet, but, she's working on it. And just so many things for the Wings. Their defensive liabilities is one of the big things that is, pegging them this season. And of course, in this game, when when the players pretty much got beat off the dribble, all they did was just foul. And in this game, they had 22 fouls overall. So there's a lot of things that the Wings are going to need to clean up within their next game to try to salvage their season, but it's not looking good so far.
Crystal, it's kind of funny how pro sports, especially how the WNBA works on with this new format, how Dallas went from the top to 11th in the league standings by virtue of just a few losses here and there, and it just kind of shows you how much is riding on winning pretty much winning all your games with how the new playoff format is right now. Again, of how you can be on top one day and then falter to the bottom pits of the league, with pretty much a couple snaps of a finger and a couple of heartbeats. But again, Crystal, like I said, though, I think the problems, though, still are running deep with this Dallas team. I mean, and again, they had so much hype and publicity, like we said, coming in. It's a new team and with a new identity. And it looked good from the start, but still, though, you're still seeing them being a wee bit exposed in certain areas, either defensive liabilities and lapses, turnover problems, foul trouble, offensive production. Crystal, where do you think the problems start with Dallas in your mind as you've seen them kind of go on this decline and kind of going downhill so far this season?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
I know something's wrong with my signal, but I think they're missing something. I mean, Dallas is still a young team. Maybe they're missing a better post player. Maybe they shouldn't use Courtney Parrish. Maybe they should probably get rid of some of their guards. I thought, honestly, the removing of Raquel Williams would help them, but it seems like that's still not the case. Maybe I don't know, maybe Fred Williams needs to go. I mean, we really don't know. They're a team that's always underachieving. Tulsa, my bad. I meant to say Dallas. Dallas should be doing way better than what they're doing, but unfortunately, we can't really, we don't know what's wrong with them. I'm thinking maybe they're a young team and just have to figure out a few things.
Couple comments real quick, guys, from the chat box. First, from our good viewer and one of our awesome friends, Christy Wilson, just said, hey, guys. And she also says, in her mind, seeing Dallas go down like this is kind of sad. Also, guys, a very nice comment left in the chat box by Dwayne McMillan, who says, thanks for giving us the best WNBA information. I'll be watching this video live. My regards, best regards to your co-host. Keep working hard. I will keep watching. So, Dwayne, thank you for watching and also for being a loyal viewer of our program. And we, again, try our best to give it our all here like the teams do. But again, Dwayne, thank you very much for your very nice and very kind remarks about the program, and thanks for being a viewer of the program. With that, Shorty, now Seattle's case here. Man, oh man, you knew that this team was kind of, they were brewing something very bigger. And so far, out of the gate, they have been on fire. Of course, taking down Los Angeles last week. They had a rough game in Minnesota, but Shorty, talk about a very good bounce-back win. Also seeing Jewel Lloyd and Breanna Stewart, the future faces of the league in this franchise, doing work this evening. 40 combined points for those two. Again, 23 for Lloyd, 17 for Stewart. And again, also Shorty as well. There's Sue Bird in the mix with 13 as well. Shorty, overall, all-around great game for the young kids from the Storm. Overall, final take on their second win in 3 games post the break.
I think, the Storm, not only are they, coming into, the second half of the season, on a roll somewhat. But I think that much props need to be given to Jenny Busick, because she said, during the Olympic break, she did watch Jewel Lloyd during the select team, and then she watched Bird and Stewart with Team USA, and also Takashi with the Japan team, and just observing all of her players, while they were in Rio. She pretty much said, along with her and her coaching staff, went back to the drawing board basically, and they, went back and started to rework on things to, how to fit those players, within their system, rework, some different sets and schemes and things like that. So they have came into the second half, working through those schemes, and they're looking pretty great so far, especially Takashki as well. She had 2 big blocks in this game. She's looking really good. Also, Bird is looking energized as well. She's not looking like the slow vet that, many people talked about, and kept bringing up, her being that veteran during, the Olympic Games. And also, Brianna Stewart as well had a double-double in this game, 17 and 12. So I thought, those 3 players, Bird, Stewart, and Takashki, came off the Olympic break, re-energized, ready to go for the season, and also with the new scheme set up, with Busick, they're going to definitely come into the season and into the second half, ready, to secure that 8th and final playoff spot.
Crystal, again, I think it helps again at this point again that again 40 points combined for both Lloyd and Stewart again really I think paid dividends again, and you've seen how both these, specifically of how Lloyd has really played well so season. And I think that as well, seeing Sue Bird post Rio is also very promising for Seattle fans too. And as much as we always say, Crystal, again, that the Storm are always, they're getting closer and closer. But I think that their time for the playoffs could be as early as this year, whether it's a 7 or 8 spot, Crystal. They're showing right now that the future for this team is going to be very, very strong and bright in the future. Again, 40 combined points out of Stewie and Lloyd. Crystal, overall final thoughts about, the game that the Storm played in again and how they got the victory this evening.
Last week, it took you like...
All right, so Crystal, I believe, is being hampered by some people right now, so we'll come back to her momentarily. But again, Seattle over Dallas, 78-66, a final score from the Key Arena once more. Just kind of go back over some numbers once more. Again, Jewel Lloyd, 23 points, game high for the game this evening, followed up by Clint Pearson, the leading scorer for Dallas at 19 points. So again, that is Seattle over Dallas, 78-66, the final score in tonight's lone game of the night. A couple of comments real quick from Christy Wilson at this point. Christy says, in regards to Dallas, maybe right now they're going through some major growing pains. And sure, as we wait for Crystal to get back online again, I would probably say this is probably one that, we always talk about stretches of a season, and we know that the season for any sport is a marathon, not a sprint to the finish line. But Dallas, I believe, for them to have growing pains right now, I would agree with Christy, but also it's also the worst possible time, too, and getting so much closer and closer to the end of the season and the playoffs on the horizon. Shorty, is this perhaps a growing pain phase for the Wings right now this late in the year?
Sadly, I don't think it's a phase. It's been, a streak, I would say, that they have been on, throughout the season. I mean, in the first half, they went on 2 6-game losing streaks. So that definitely tells you there that there's more of a serious situation going on than just a minor bump in the road for Dallas. There's definitely some big internal problems with the team that definitely will have to be solved possibly during the off season, because as of now, no, they're not even close.
Shorty, I would agree. And, growing pains are always, you see it all the time in sports. And then you go to Seattle, and Christy Wilson actually want to bring up about that. She says, really like what she's seeing out of Seattle. Shorty, I kind of, enjoy watching Storm games because you're kind of waiting when you're going to see another Stewart to Lloyd lob. I mean, we've seen those a few times already, and that's the style of basketball, though, that I think people in Seattle are going to enjoy for many years to come when you have these 2 young, shining future stars of this league and by far the future of the Seattle franchise doing that on a nightly basis. I mean, how can you not enjoy watching fun basketball like that that'll get you riled up out of your seat? So again, Shorty, I guess, looking back over Seattle, though, I guess, where is their window of opportunity, I guess, to get in the postseason this year? Because, again, they've played very good, I think they'll much improve basketball this first 3 games as opposed to the early part of the season. But what do you think, though, about their window of opportunity so far?
I think their window of opportunity is very high. I mean, people have been saying this since the beginning of the season, and I think, it is very true that this team is, ahead of schedule. That's the phrase that keeps, being brought up time and time again, and I definitely think it's true because, you look at Stewie, you look at Lloyd, even though she was a Rookie of the Year last season, you would think that they would struggle a little bit more often, with the vet and Sue Bird as well. But they're actually gelling pretty well, pretty great. And you talked about the Julie Oop, that connection between Stewie and Lloyd. For them to have that connection that fast, in merely a couple of months is definitely great to see. And yes, the Storm are right on track to get in the postseason this year because that connection and that chemistry have, connected at a very fast pace.
So again, folks, we're still waiting on Crystal Thomas. We believe she got hounded by somebody because she was. We were in the middle of asking her a question about the game, but we'll come back to her when we do get a chance to revisit with her. But again, lone game tonight, Seattle over the Wings, 78-66. Shorty and Crystal will kind of go away. Or actually, I know we do have Crystal back. I guess Crystal.
My bad. Sorry.
No problem about that. We know that things come up on here. But Crystal, I guess first of all, of course, you got to say hi to your buddy Eric Nemchuk. Of course, writes into the chat box saying hi, Crystal.
Hi. I can't see right now. I got poked in the eye or something. But hi.
So Eric, she says hi that way. But again, Crystal, how about your overall thoughts about Seattle's win again? 40-point combined effort between Stewart and Lloyd again. Overall final thoughts on the Storm's victory over Dallas in your mind? What is it and why?
I think for I think for Seattle that was a pretty good win for them. Honestly, I think all wins right now in the playoff race are good wins, but Dallas is not really a team where you can really say it's a good win because Dallas is so low in the totem pole. But for playoff contention, especially for Seattle since they're right below Washington, any win right now to get near Washington is a good win for them. So, I didn't expect anything less from Breanna Stewart and company.
So again, once more, reiterate again, Seattle over Dallas, 78-66. And also, folks, once more, I want to remind you again, you can take part in tonight's Twitter poll question over on our Twitter page at WNBA365. And again, we already had ran this once, but along with LaChina Robinson, who else would you folks want to see on a future show during the off season? Maybe we again have Roz Gold and Wude, Christy Winter-Scott, or Olympia Scott as our 3 votes, or 3 nominees, or at least 3 options, I guess. So again, make your vote count over on the WNBA 365 network Twitter handle at WNBA 365. Guys, some college but off the court news regarding a coach on trial right now, and it's in my backyard down here in San Diego with current USC assistant women's basketball coach, but former longtime San Diego State women's basketball coach Beth Burns, who right now, guys, is suing SDSU for a lot of legal damages. Burns, who was fired, the article and the quotes here, courtesy of the hometown newspaper, the San Diego Union Tribune, goes as follows, saying that, of course, guys, Beth Burns was fired after 16 years at SDSU in April 2013. Of course, she's the all-time winningest basketball coach, where she had just completed a school record 27-win season. She is right now, guys, claiming a breach of contract, a.k.a. also stating that she was fired without cause and whistleblower retaliation because, in the words of her attorney, Ed Chapin, she sought equal opportunities for the women's basketball program, close quote. Burns was in the first year of a 5-year contract extension that paid her over $220,000 annually before bonuses. She has taken a job since under Cynthia Cooper Dykes, coach at USC, for about $150,000 per season. She is seeking over $1.5 million in damages for breach of contract and $3 million for the whistleblower retaliation plus punitive damages. Both legal terms presented 90 minutes of opening statements on Tuesday that offered predictability, conflicting views of the case. In regards to this, these quotes, guys, now are from her attorney, Ed Chapman, who called Burns, quote, a tough coach who set high standards and high expectations for her support staff, and occasionally let them know when they weren't met, according to the lead attorney. Also saying that Burns had inability to control her emotions, and from the university's standpoint, none of its employees should go to work concerned about being confronted by an out of control boss. That quote actually from the lead attorney for the California State University's lead for the CSU system as well. So pretty much, guys, big story at least was on local news today. But again, Shorty, I know that we have seen scandals across college sports, but I don't think I've seen one, at least in this case, go to a jury trial. And again, now, guys, when Beth Burns was at SDSU, that team was really put on the map when she was at the program. Of course, I had gotten to see Janae Morse play under Coach Burns at SDSU before she got drafted. And those games, guys, I'm telling you, that was a very scary Mountain West Conference school. But now, Shorty, they've been reduced to pretty much almost nothing now over at Montezuma Mesa. So, Shorty, at this point, it's kind of, there's two sides here. It's both Burns, obviously, setting high standards, but, of course, things getting a little bit, at least according to the defense attorney, getting a little bit out of control, though. But, of course, Shorty, she's battling, though, for both Title IX, but also for equal treatment amongst both herself and her coaching staff, plus her team. Because, of course, we know, as you guys may know, but, of course, SDSU's men's basketball team, guys, has become a national sensation, and just trying to get a little bit of some equal pay and some equal stuff there. Shorty, overall thoughts about seeing, probably for the first time in a while, a college scandal go to court, nonetheless. What do you think about this and why?
Yeah, I definitely think that is a big but yet interesting situation. And of course, I don't have too much knowledge on it, but from what I am hearing, I mean, it's definitely big. And if so, it's big on, the coaches' part, to try to fight for her program, for the females to get respect, because that's something that still in this day and age is not, forthcoming, and when hearing this story, I quickly think back to Pat Summitt, and you look at the Tennessee Lady Bolts and how, as of right now, they're still a big respected program, but back in, the 70s and, 80s, it wasn't like that, They had, lesser attention paid to that program, and Pat had to do a lot of things for the program itself. They barely had uniforms, and when they did, she had to hand wash all of the uniforms, by herself, because they weren't getting that funding, to have, multiple uniforms for the team players, as the same as the men's side. So I think back to all of what she fought for, to raise the level of the UT program, and now the coach for San Diego is trying to do the same thing.
Crystal, whenever I would attend San Diego State games at Cox Arena, now Viejas Arena, for the women's games, obviously people still didn't come, but they were known, though, for, but Beth Burns really put that women's basketball program on the map. I mean, they were a team that you really knew you were going to be in a dogfight with up until the end. They had won a couple conference titles. They had gone into the conference or into the big dance for a few minutes or for a few games. But again, Crystal, more so, I think it's more so different, though, because again, we're used to talking about scandals on here, but again, I don't think that we brought one up, though, where it's actually wound up in court, nonetheless. And of course, it's in San Diego County Court right now, downtown here. But I guess, Crystal, overall thoughts about hearing the story again about Beth Burns seeking damages done by San Diego State University for, again, what she is calling, again, looking for almost $1.5 million and also $3 million for both breach of contract and also whistleblower retaliation.
I really don't know much of the story, even after you telling me. I don't really know a lot of it, but if that's really what was going on, I think she should get compensated for, I guess, her, I don't know how to say it. I guess she should get compensated for her, I don't know if you want to call it efforts, or I can't find the right word, but if that's truly what was going on, then she should get that. She could give me some money because I got bills to pay and stuff, so I'll gladly take, a little bit of that. But I think if she does win the case, maybe it will start opening up eyes a little bit on how sometimes NCAA isn't as fun and good as people think it is. Like people say, everything that glitters isn't gold. So if there was some wrongdoing, hopefully this will prove it, and they'll try to fix whatever was going on behind the scenes.
Guys, I probably have to go back and ask my two friends, Amber Sprague and Amanda Rigo, who I've been family friends with for a long time. They actually were high school classmates with my brother many years back in the early 2000s. I don't think they ever beat SDSU when they would play their non-conference game because they went right to the school down here, USD, which is in the West Coast Conference. And I would probably have to ask, but guys, Christy Wilson said it right, though. She said, this is a really big deal. I've never heard of something like this in college sports, like football, for example. Again, Shorty, I think, though, it's a little bit more alarming in that we have a college scandal winding up in court again. And I know that we probably have seen it, though, in regards to either domestic violence with either Duke's lacrosse team many years ago. But I don't think we have seen a women's basketball scandal or something like this go to court, I guess. So, Shorty, I guess, final take, I guess, on this developing story again in women's college basketball.
Mm-hmm. I think that's the reason why it's getting the publicity that it is, because of course there has been a lot of legal cases on the part of the NCAA. Of course, domestic violence, rape charges. That's pretty common as of now, but it's very uncommon on the women's side to have these sort of cases where coaches are suing the program for any kind of wrongdoing or mishandling of funds or anything of that nature. So it's definitely big when it comes to the women's side, because of course we normally see cases, just not this one of this magnitude on the women's side.
Crystal, we got a few minutes to get your take here before we wrap up for the night. Crystal, give us your final overall thoughts again about seeing a women's college basketball scandal going into local city and county court.
I don't think this is going to be the last that we see of something like this. I think we all know the NCAA and these organizations, period, or sometimes they can be kind of shady. We don't necessarily know what goes on way behind the scenes, but I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more cases like this get drawn up.
So again, folks, we'll keep you posted on that story. But again, it is developing. It just got underway at this point in time. But once more, again, current USC women's basketball assistant coach, former SDSU, San Diego State women's basketball coach Beth Burns seeking almost $4.5 million in damages done by the university for damages done by the school towards her during her tenure at San Diego State University. Christy also says she thinks as well, like Crystal and Shorty, that there will be more cases like this going to court in the future as well. Guys, 2 games on your WNBA schedule for Thursday evening at 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock Pacific time. First game up, guys, Libs and Fever on NBA TV, Fox Sports Indiana or MSG+. Shorty, who you got?
For the first matchup, I'm definitely going with the Liberty.
One vote for the Liberty. Crystal, how about you?
I'm going to go with the Liberty. I think that cool little win streak that Phoenix has ends.
All right, so all three of us picking the Liberty over Indy. Again, that's on NBA TV, Fox Sports Indiana, and MSG Network Plus. Then the 5 o'clock game, guys, tomorrow, Sparks at Stars on League Pass, Fox Sports Southwest, or on Time Warner Cable Sportsnet and Time Warner Cable Deportes. Shorty, who you got?
I'm going with LA because we can't let Marquez prosper.
One vote for the Sparks on the road. KT, who you got?
You already know I'm gonna pick LA. I mean, hopefully they don't play like how I'd play tonight, because then they definitely probably won't win. Even though they've been playing like that, but I'm gonna say LA gets the W.
We will all vote for the away teams tomorrow. So again, folks, your schedule for tomorrow. Again, 2 games on the schedule. Once more, Liberty at Fever at 4 o'clock Pacific time, 7 o'clock Eastern on NBA TV, Fox Sports Indiana, or MSG+. And then at 5 o'clock Pacific time, 8 o'clock Eastern, Sparks and Stars on League Pass, Fox Sports Southwest, or Time Warner Cable Sportsnet and Time Warner Cable Deportes. With that, guys, we'll now get to the final results of tonight's Twitter poll question again, folks. Now, we're asking for more so viewer input on this at this point in time. Again, about who you folks would like to see us, again, try to bring onto a program in the future, either during the season or perhaps afterwards again. So we already had LaChina Robinson win our first one. Tonight we had Rosgold on Wude, Christy Winter-Scott, or Olympia Scott, guys. Final votes are in. 73% have picked Rosgold on Wude to be one of our next guests. 18% picked Christy Winter-Scott, and 9% picked Olympia Scott. So, Shorty, so right now we have a tag team of LaChina Robinson and Rosgold on Wude on a potential future show. Again, Shorty, 3 pretty good choices that I put in the question tonight. But I guess, Shorty, what do you think about the voters' pick for the night?
I think the voters were correct because I was one of the voters who picked Roz. I mean, now that's a long stretch, and I need a very, very long stretch. But I would love for her to, come on the show and give her great commentary. So, Roz all the way.
Crystal, when I actually put out the mass email to everyone about the second night preview show, and I put LaChina Robinson in there, I thought, this is a far-fetched idea, but when she said that she would be game for a future show, then that locked me in. So again, Crystal, 73% picked Rosgold on Wude. Crystal, the overall final take, and do you agree with the voters about the results for the night's poll question?
I do. I too picked. I'm bad with names, so let me try this. I too picked Rosgold on Wude. Yay! I did it. Well, I did pick her as well. I think I think she just because she's been around the game, especially her getting coverage of basketball in Rio. Her as well with the Golden State Warriors. I think she'd be pretty cool because she's been around the game. She knows the game. She's played at Stanford. For those of you who probably don't know or remember, so I think she'd be cool. She's just she's an all around cool person. She seems like a person that you would love to talk to and talk hoops with.
Ooh, man, folks, if we get a Rosgold on Wude, LaChina Robinson tag team, that's going to be very good. A very good live stream for you folks to watch. By the way, a Twitter handle from @Jess2437 guys actually wrote in Cheryl Miller as another one, perhaps. Shorty, I would love for that one, but I don't know if I can pull that one out of the bag. I don't know if I can pull that one out of the bag though. But what do you think though about that one? I guess.
Yeah, if Roz is a long stretch, then Cheryl Miller is probably on another universe stretch because we have no chance there. But I like the idea.
Crystal, maybe if Point Loma was if PLU Women's Hoops was gonna play CSU LA where Cheryl was coaching, I would have asked her right then and there at the game. But sadly, we're not. So that is still a bit of a far fetch. But I guess, Crystal, what do you think though about the write-in vote for this one?
I mean, that would be cool. So you're writing in votes. Can I write one in? I got 3. April Sykes is 1. Chrissy Tolliver is another 1. And Chrissy Tolliver is a 3rd one. There you go.
Okay, so we got Sykes and 2 Tollivers. In that case, then in my case, it's Parker Wiggins in that pecking order. Shorty, what about your write-ins?
My writings, I'll go Parker, Agumake, Estes Carson.
So there we go. So we'll probably have write-in votes next time, folks. With that, though, ladies and germs, thanks, of course, for stopping by and joining the team tonight. We will be back, though, tomorrow night. Don't know a start time as yet, so be sure to stay connected over on Facebook or Twitter for any updates. We actually will be off here on Friday because tomorrow to start my college announcing season. I am announcing a volleyball tournament all weekend starting on Friday from 8 in the morning till 10 at night, so we will be off here Friday. We'll be back on, though, folks, either tomorrow, if not tomorrow, on Monday night. With that, though, folks, for Crystal Thomas and Tanisha Stewart, both up in Los Angeles, Cal McClurg from Studio 171 in San Diego signing off up until either tomorrow night, folks, or on Monday. Please have a safe night and drive home safely. This has been the WNBA 365 Network, folks. Take care, so long, and see you next time, folks. Till then, good night. Bye-bye.